Howdy, my name is Craig. I'm with TemplarDefense.com. In today's video, we're going to go over the 4 universal rules of firearm safety, plus the basic parts of the semi-automatic handgun. If you do want some hands-on training or you actually want to learn how to shoot your handgun better, please check us out at TemplarDefense.com. We focus on the brand new, inexperienced shooter. Doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. We'd love to work with you. So let's start off with the 4 universal rules of firearm safety. These apply at all times, not necessarily just on the range. We live by these rules. And so rule number 1 is we treat all firearms as if they are always loaded all the time. So let's say somebody gives you a gun that they say is unloaded. Well, we need to treat that gun as if it is loaded until we have verified it ourselves. And even once we've done so, there's still some things that we will not do with that gun because we still got to abide by the other 3 rules. Rule number 2, keep your finger off of the trigger until you have made the decision to shoot. Modern firearms will not fire unless you press that trigger, really don't care what you're shooting. So if you don't want that gun to discharge or go off, keep your finger off of the trigger, or better yet, keep it in register, high and outside of the trigger guard. Number 3, do not let your muzzle cross anything you are not willing to destroy, kill, or purchase. Once again, do not let your muzzle cross anything you are not willing to destroy, kill, or purchase. So going back, we got a gun, we know it's unloaded, we verified it ourselves. We still don't point it at anything we don't want to destroy, kill, or purchase, either us or somebody else. So always be aware of where your gun is pointed at all times. Last but not least, number 4, know your target. Identify your target. What is in front and what is behind. We are responsible for every round that comes out of the end of our firearm, and so we need to be sure that every single round hits and stays within who or what we are shooting at. So, number 4, know your target, identify your target, what's in front and what's behind. Guys, we live by those rules all the time, and that kind of helps carry us over into the basic components and parts of a semi-automatic handgun. So what we have right here is a magazine. This is where the ammunition goes into, and this is what feeds the semi-automatic handgun. We have our base plate right here. This is the bottom. Up top, this orange part right here, that is the follower. So that's where the ammunition actually rests or sits into when you load it in the magazine. In between the magazine, you guys really can't see this, but inside here there's a spring that is always pushing up on that follower. And so when you press the trigger and that round leaves the end of the barrel, when that slide comes back, it's going to pick up a new round and feed it into the chamber. And so once again, that magazine or that spring is always pushing up against the follower to make sure that every sequential round that you fire is going to feed into the gun. So once again, magazine, that slide comes back, ejects the casing out. As it comes forward, it's going to pick up a new round, feed that into the chamber, and you see how that spring and that follower is pushing that round up next, so that once you fire again, this is the next round that that gun is going to pick up. Here we have our semi-automatic handgun. I've got one of our training barrels in here just to let you guys know that it is completely unloaded. Semi-automatics are pretty safe, and they all pretty much work the same way. Even though this gun doesn't have a manual safety, there are actually 3 internal safeties built into the gun. We have a trigger safety right here that's called your dingus. You also have 2 other safeties built into the slide. You've got a plunger safety and then a drop safety that's kind of built in back into the striker assembly on these pistols. So just because you think that your semi-automatic handgun doesn't have a manual safety, it does have 3 other safeties built in. Once again, we still abide by the 4 universal rules of firearm safety. Nonetheless, we've got our slide up top. We've got our sights, so front sight and rear sight. And then we have our frame. Our frame is where our hand goes onto the gun. On this side, you can see there's 3 main parts that we need to be concerned about when it comes to operating the handgun. So we have our trigger right here. We have our magazine release button right here. The magazine release button, we typically operate with our thumb that is on the gun. And it does exactly as it says. It releases the magazine from the bottom of the gun. So trigger, magazine release. And then last but not least, we have our slide stop. So if we push that slide to the rear and we push up on that slide stop, it's going to lock that slide all the way to the rear. And this is kind of where we can look into the chamber and see inside the mag well, make sure that the firearm's unloaded. And then if you want the slide to go forward, we can either pull the slide back or we can press down on the slide stop and let it go forward. But once again, we got our slide with our sights, our frame, trigger, magazine release, and slide stop. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this video was quick and to the point. It does not replace hands-on training with a professional instructor. If you are in the greater Houston area and you guys want to actually learn how to shoot your handguns better, we'd love to see you come visit us at TemplarDefense.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Be safe, be smart, be skilled. We'll catch you on the next video.